Hello and welcome to News 360 from the News app here in Accra. I am Issa Moni.
And I am Solis Rose Quarte. A look at the headlines for this evening.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Paint, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Spray,
Premier Health Insurance.
In the news this evening, fire outbreak at Dansoman in Accra claims 5 lives.
Cocoa farmers in Accra East District of the Ashanti region in distress following incessant attack from pests.
In business this evening, fuel prices up by 2%.
And on Mission tonight, we bring you the story of the Bingo brothers at Bengodo in the Pandai district who started farming at age 5 to enable them complete their basic education.
And on the international front, the top lawyer in the White House cooperating extensively with Russia inquiry into election meddling. We have all these stories and more, including sports and entertainment, in the next 1 hour. Don't forget that we're live on DSTV channel 279 to our first story, and a rather unfortunate one. 5 persons were burnt to death after fire razed their home at Akokofoto at Dansoman in Accra earlier today. The accident reportedly happened this morning between 5 and 6 a.m. The victims were the wife of the Dansoman SDA district pastor, his mother-in-law, and 3 children. Pastor Tokesi was not in the house at the time of the incident. He is reported to have gone for a camp meeting, leaving the wife and their 2 children together with a third who happens to be his niece and his mother-in-law. The cause of the fire is yet to be established.
Now, the body of a student of the Mampong campus of the University of Education, Winneba, Sarah Kwatin, who drowned together with another student at the Oasis Beach restaurant in Cape Coast last Thursday evening, has been found. The body was found at about 2 p.m. on Sunday, August 19, at Duakro near the university. 2 students drowned after they were struck by a strong wave last Thursday evening. The students who were attending the annual Congress of the University Student Association at the University of Cape Coast had gone to undertake a photo shoot session for the face of USAC when the tragedy occurred. 4 of them were rescued and rushed to the hospital, but 1 was pronounced dead on arrival.
On to some farming issues, and cocoa farmers in the Accra East District of the Ashanti region are struggling to control the main cocoa pest, which causes the capside disease, which is destroying their farms and reducing production. They are therefore calling on government to intervene, as insecticides distributed by the agri-extension officers were not sufficient for spraying their farms. Selom Amenya visited the district and has filed this report.
Accra East District is the largest district of the Ashanti region with a population of over 62,000. The primary occupation of the people is farming. However, cocoa farmers in the district are in distress as their farms have come under attack from pests. Cocoa pests, especially Akate, have taken over the farms. The cocoa has also been infested by the black pod disease.
This is what the farmers are lamenting over. Apart from the pest causing the cocoa pod or fruit to end up this way, even though it is not yet due, it also has the ability to infest the branches of the trees, which eventually causes them to end up drying up and dying off.
This, they say, is an annual ritual which reduces their yield and goes a long way to affect the country's cocoa production output.
12 acres of land, according to them, is expected to give them close to 25 or 26 bags of cocoa beans. But at the end of the day, they are able to cultivate between 10 and 12 bags, which is a little over 45% of the expected yield.
Kweku Owusu is a 38-year-old cocoa farmer. He tells us he took over the 11-acre cocoa farm from his grandfather, who is now old and weak. He is worried if government does not scale up the supply of insecticides, he might abandon farming.
At the
beginning of the cocoa season, government supplies us with insecticides and fertilizer, but this is insufficient. Ali Seidu lives in Okaikrom and has this 12-acre cocoa farm. His plight is not different from Kweku Owusu and other cocoa farmers in the Seche East District. He decided to grow plantain to generate income which he and his family survive on, and sometimes use the proceeds to purchase chemicals for the spraying of the cocoa farm. He wants government to intervene. I have 8 children and have adopted 4 others I cater for in school. When the yield is low, paying their school fees becomes burdensome. Hence, government must bail us out. Ghana is expected to produce more than 1 million tons of cocoa in the 2018-2019 cocoa season. The last time the country reached the 1 million ton figure was in the 2010-2011 cocoa season.
And the Ministry of Special Development Initiative will be adding 5,000 cubic meters of biogas daily to the national gas stock by September this year. Ibati Boka reports the toilet facilities under the 1 million cities per constituency are designed with special biodigesters to generate the energy.
Ghana generates 80 million standard cubic feet of biogas per day, against the current gas demand of over 400 billion standard cubic feet. The current demand is expected to shoot up to over 800 billion standard cubic feet of gas in the next 12 to 20 years. From the 2018 Energy Commission's Energy Outlook, 66,816 million British thermal units of gas is expected to be delivered from the West African Pipeline and the Ghana Gas Pipeline carrying indigenous gas from the Jubilee, 10 and Sankofa fields. However, that will still not close the gas supply deficit. Government is considering ingenious ways to top up the gas production. Under the 1 million per constituency being implemented by the Ministry of Special Development Initiatives, 1,000 toilet facilities are being put up across the country to generate biogas. Apart from achieving a sustained clean environment, the toilet facilities have special features to turn fecal matter into biogas. Each of the 1,000 toilet facilities has the capacity to generate 5 cubic meters and more of biogas daily.
This is a 10-seater toilet. On this volume, we are going to produce 5,000 liters of biogas per day. That's 5 cubic daily out of this volume. An advanced waste treatment system or toilet facility. The previous one are only storage system. This one is biodigester, which comes with digestion treatments.
Some put up in senior high schools and in hospitals will provide biogas for lighting and cooking. The toilet facilities will also provide biofertilizer for agriculture purposes.
This one is also fighting an environment, sanitation, underground water pollution is totally taken off. And then this energy supplements. So agriculture purposes, we have the biofertilizer in place.
Chief Director for the ministry says this endeavor is in fulfillment of the Sustainable Development Goals before 2030.
The UN has declared that no one should be left behind. So whatever we have to do to ensure that everybody in the world, no matter where he or she lives, also sees a better life. It's the desire of every government to meet these goals before the deadline of 2030. And I believe if we keep the pace, Ghana would be able to meet the goals.
The Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Gifty Chum Ampofo, has affirmed government's resolve to support any initiative aimed at fighting breast cancer. She was speaking at the maiden annual general meeting of the Breast Cancer Society of Ghana here in Accra.
In Ghana, inadequate medical resources and socio-cultural beliefs are believed to have worked against efforts to encourage early detection, treatment, and improving survival of victims of breast cancer. As a result, the number of late-stage breast cancer cases is estimated to be about 67% or higher in the country. Though the month of October every year has been set aside to create awareness about the disease, it remains the most common fatal cancer that affects women in the country. Speaking at the maiden annual general meeting of the Breast Cancer Society of Ghana, the Deputy Minister stated that she believes more effort needs to be made by stakeholders to fight the disease holistically.
You hear this NGO doing his or hers at this corner, you hear individuals doing their own bit, but that's the time for all of us to come together. As the old adage said, united we stand, divided we fall. All of us should unite to make sure that we carry the message, and I'm sure when we come together, we become a stronger force, and breast management will be far better than we've seen for decades.
She also charged women to take keen interest in their breasts.
All women had to have in mind that for one reason or the other, you may be a victim. But once you identify that there's a lump in your breast, we know there are too many superstitions and beliefs in our society. As much as possible, we could still have our beliefs, but we should run early to seek medical attention.
President of the society, Dr. Florence Dede, said members of the association will work together to improve the management and outcome of breast diseases.
There's a lot that has to be done, and we know people are doing different things, but we think if we have one group that oversees or kind of coordinates all the efforts that have to go into the various aspects of breast care, it will have a much better outcome.
The program was on the theme, A New Era for Better Breast Care.
And persons with disability engaged in farming and other business activities in the Fajatu South District of the Boto region have received grants between 500 and 1,000 cedis to support their ventures. More than 100 registered persons with disability benefited from the total package of 120,000 cedis from the District Assembly. A report by Robert Abelba.
The support package was to ensure the economic empowerment of the less privileged. Beneficiaries were mainly registered persons who have acquired vocational skills, as well as those in small-scale businesses and agricultural activities. Over 100 beneficiaries received tools with other items. The items included farm inputs, sewing machines, refrigerators, hair dryers, electrical tools, ovens, shoemaking and carpentry tools, as well as printing machines, among others. Those engaged in farming and allied venture were also allocated grants in cash ranging between 500 and 1,000 cedis. The Afajatu South District Secretary of the Physically Challenged, Manfred Accra, commended the Assembly and pledged members will put the items to good use.
By giving us working tools and equipment through the social welfare and the community development to eliminate poverty, I am therefore urging the fellow PWDs who happen to be beneficiaries today to put these working tools and equipment to good use.
Wisdom Senanu Senaja is the Afajatu South District Chief Executive.
Our disabled brothers and sisters, we give them cash each time. The cash doesn't appear to resolve their problems. We have decided that this time all the disabled residents will give them support that will end up winning them off this cycle of coming back and appearing as if they are at our mercy, at our beck and call.
The Environmental Protection Agency is considering a house-to-house sensitization to stop the burning of waste. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly, World Health Organization and other partners have jointly launched the Breathe Life campaign to reduce air pollution to safeguard the environment.
The country's forest reservoir has gone down from 8.2 million hectares to 1.6 million hectares in the past 4 decades. This negative trend has largely been attributed to fuel harvesting and deforestation. Statistics from the Environmental Protection Agency indicate that annually 440 people die prematurely from cardiovascular and respiratory diseases due to air pollution. Against this backdrop, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, World Health Organization and other partners have launched Breathe Life campaign policy to reduce air pollution in order to safeguard the environment. The Chief Executive Officer of Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Mohammed Ajay-Soa, said the time had come to revitalize efforts and bring all stakeholders to take action to reduce generation of air pollution. He decried the extent to which traditional cooking with solid biomass continued to affect health and economy of the country.
I am cognizant of the dire impact of air pollution on health and quality of life. That 1/3 of all strokes, lung cancer and heart attacks are caused by air pollution. We in the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, under my leadership, are committed to this.
The acting executive director of Environmental Protection Agency, John Puamang, believed one way to reverse the trend is to intensify house-to-house sensitization to encourage residents to stop burning.
We can foresee that the number of vehicles that are coming into the country are increasing, and also we are hoping that our industrialization will increase, and so if we do not take action, we are going to have our air quality deteriorating further.
Don't forget that News 360 is also streaming live on 3news.com. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away. Welcome back to News 360. It's now time for Mission. It is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, the UK Aid and the European Union. Let's start off from the northern region. They started farming at age 5 to provide their basic needs. Now they have completed junior high school and still farming to further their education. Stanley Niblewu brings you the story of the Bingo brothers at Bingodo in the Pandai district.
It's a sunny afternoon in the village of Bingodo in the Pandai district. Inhabitants here are mainly cucumbers. There are about 500 inhabitants here, but many of the residents had not returned from their farms when the mission team visited. Amazingly, most children here have not had the benefit to education. This is because there is no school in the community. The nearest school is at Kumdi, some 20 kilometers away from Bingodo. Education is only accessed by the strong-hearted. Peter and Joshua Bingo are two cousins who have defied the odds to acquire education. Peter lost his dad a year ago, and so he has come to live with his uncle, the chief of the community. His mother is paralyzed. Peter is the first child of 4 siblings. 14-year-old Joshua Bingo's story is similar to his cousins. The two brothers are among only 5 who have attained basic education in the community. They started providing their basic needs at a tender age of 5 after their father introduced them to early farming.
I engaged my children in farming at age 5. When I don't have money, they use their proceeds to buy food and clothes, and this is what has been sustaining them.
Their father, Bingo, has 31 children and 4 wives. He, however, does not cater for their welfare. He uses the younger ones as a source of entertainment. This practice is common when the family members are back from farm. For years, the two brothers have been financing their basic educational needs from produce from their farm.
It's this farm that we used to ourselves. After we the cucumbers, villagers like this, they don't know how to take care of us. We must to get this farm and be taken ours.
Peter has currently cultivated 2 acres of maize. Samuel has a 2-acre yam farm. Their family takes one part, whilst proceeds from the remainder is what serves the needs of the 2 brothers. The children go through a lot of hardship to maintain the farms.
My mom died and my father died because if no farm, I will not get money to pay my school fees.
This takes a toll on their academic activities.
After school, I can no more learn again because of the farm.
The community savings group loaned out some money to the 2 brothers to buy agrochemicals for their farms. Their father, who is eager to increase the number of his present 31 children, wants to make the provision of an educational facility in the community a priority. Inhabitants are yearning for change, but this could be a mirage if stakeholders do not commit resources to establish a school to serve Bingodo and its adjoining communities.
Women at Yayayili in the East Gonja municipality of the Northern region have devised ways to solve their economic and nutritional problems in the face of abject poverty. Stanley Nibleu reports the women have gone into farming.
Yayayili is inhabited by some 300 people. The community is rated highly as a huge food producer but remains deprived. Poverty is high here. Parents say most children are malnourished. Affording 3 square meals a day is possible, but this is not easy to get. Women's group with membership of 50 has thus been formed to help fight poverty in Yayayili and its adjoining communities.
The women of this community, their main occupation is burning of charcoal, and there is no money in burning of charcoal. So I decided to form a group, and fortunately when I formed the group, we had support, and currently we are doing the planting, and it will help them when they harvest to pay for their children's school fees, to also renew health insurance for their children.
They are cultivating 2 acres of soybean farm. An early rain is a good sign to plant. The women received support from US Aid. The humanitarian agency had plowed the land for free and also provided them with seeds. Hopes are now high.
Soya beans, we are told, is very nutritious. So when we harvest, we'll use it in our homes, we'll prepare food with it, and it will help our children by providing them with the nutrition that they need.
All, including expectant mothers, are happy about the intervention. The farm, when successful, will improve household nutrition, while proceeds from the surplus will be shared among members.
Most of the group members have children. Because of that, they are unable to come. Some of them too don't have what they will eat for the day, so they will go somewhere to look for what they will eat. Aside that, we are a united front, but we have our own individual problems.
Some members are happy new sources of funds will be generated to cater for their children's educational needs when the next academic term begins.
We already have our own farms, but this has come to us as a support from the district assembly, and what we do is that we'll come as a group and plant soya beans. Then after that, we'll share the soya beans and sell to get money to cater for our children.
The Agricultural Department of the East Gonja Municipal Assembly has also partnered to offer training to the women. More than 500 livestock have also been set aside to be distributed to other vulnerable women.
The small ruminants are very prolific in their production. If you actually manage them very well, each animal should deliver a minimum of 3 times in a year. So within the first 3 years, the household that is getting 3 animals will have 12 or more, because there are sometimes that we register twin births. So if they are able to take care of them, within the next 2 years, the first offspring will have started also delivering. And that means the stock will start increasing.
More intervention would be needed to empower inhabitants in the East Gonja municipality to come out of poverty and also achieve United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 1, which prioritized the alleviation of poverty by 2030.
And that's it for Mission this evening. Don't forget that it is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, the UK Aid and the European Union. Issa Moni is standing by with more news updates.
Now to some education, and the minister in charge of the sector, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, has welcomed 33 American Peace Corps education volunteers, applauding them to have come at a time Ghana is going through educational reforms. Here is a report by Ebenezer Ajekumbuating.
The Americans have gone through 10 weeks of training in Ghana and prepared to serve as Peace Corps volunteers. The volunteers will be teaching science, maths, visual arts, and special education in schools in rural communities.
We serve with the knowledge and under the aegis of the government of Ghana, and will use the approaches put forth by the policies of the government of Ghana, which include free senior high school education, accountability, equity, and a focus on learning outcomes.
The chargé d'affaires of the U.S. Embassy in Accra, Christopher Lamora, challenged them to impact positively in communities they will be serving.
Commit yourselves to leaving your own legacy in the communities where you will be living and serving. How do you want to be remembered after you leave? Your name may well be remembered in the communities you serve decades from now, as will the impact of your work and your representation of the United States.
The volunteers have been taught basic local language skills to enable them communicate with indigents.
Doviwa, Desaku, Fifiabe, Efechome,
Nanyo.
Fawoba, Kosukurene, Nawonya Dachepa.
Education Minister Matthew Opoku-Prempeh said the support by the volunteers is crucial as the country goes through its educational reforms.
The government's priority areas sit exactly where these volunteers are going to. We are going through huge curricular reforms, both the teacher education and the pupil education. And so they are coming at a time when our science and maths results are not that good. So wherever they are going to do, I know they're going to make an impact in helping us improve our results, our learning objectives, our learning outcomes in science, maths, English, and visual arts.
Some of the volunteers shared their experiences and expectations.
I looked on social media, advertisements, grassy, dry areas with huts and trees and leaves and no cities. But when I came here, it's well developed, and I met very friendly people, and I feel really welcome.
I go back to America, maybe implementing some styles into the American curriculum and sort of combining the two styles together.
I think cuisine has been a big change for me. I was worried about the cuisine, if I would like it. Turns out I do love Ghanaian food. Okra stew is the only thing I don't like. Mempe and kromankrang. There we go. But I love fufu, I love banku. All the food has been great.
One of the highlights of the ceremony was a vote of thanks by Adam Fultz.
Yede aseda kesie ma Peace Corps edjuma yefo se wonya adajie tete yen kwanpaso. Bio yede aseda piesie ma yen abusia fo awone yentena abosome miensayi. Mwatete yen kama ama yaye Ghana fo prekope.
The volunteers will spend 2 years in the country.
All right, so let's move away and do some other stories. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations is exploring options in ICT to safeguard and position Africa as a food-secure continent with the adoption of a new technology. The model project would empower African youth to boost agriculture for increased food crop production.
Africa's population is described as a youth badge, with over 70% of its people below the age of 35. Ghana's population, according to the 2010 census, falls within this range. This presents government with an opportunity which, when properly harnessed, can yield great dividends. Youth in Africa have the potential to revolutionize the food and agriculture sector and generate economic growth. Against this backdrop, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations is seeking for innovative models and new technologies among the youth in agriculture across the African continent to unlock the largely untapped reservoir of youth employment. The regional representative of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, Bukar Tijani, said there is a potential for agriculture to create employment. However, African youth in sub-Sahara do not realize agriculture as a profitable opportunity for livelihood.
Unless if this trend of employment in different areas are looked into very seriously, we will have youth who are graduates in different fields who will not be employed.
He believed agriculture has an extremely valuable and untapped potential to solve the youth unemployment challenges.
Agriculture has the highest potential to employ youth who are not employed. So, and this is why the thinking is that this youth employment in agriculture as a solid solution to ending hunger and poverty in Africa.
And human rights activist and lawyer Mary Ohinua has given government a one-week ultimatum to address the compensation and welfare of the June 3 disaster victims. At a news conference at the disaster sites here in Accra, she demanded answers to 30 questions she has posed to government, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Ghana Oil Company, GOIL.
The lawyer lamented the treatment of the victims has so far been appalling and called on the president to grant their audience.
This problem or this case is even beyond Ghana, where we have other countries who have donated to victims, and even recently the office of the president received money for them. So I am asking our president, he is a human rights lawyer, so if he doesn't attend to them within a week, then I'll have no option than to get to Al Jazeera and BBC and let the whole world know. I have a team of lawyers on standby that after 1 week, if we have not heard from them, we shall file our rate in court without notice to anyone.
Some of the victims were disappointed in the nation for abandoning them in their time of need.
I was right behind the former President Mahama when he said government has given the victims 50 million Ghana cedis. And we all know what 50 million Ghana cedi is. I need money to go to hospital for plastic surgery. And the last time I visited the hospital to ask if I have money at my disposal, how much would plastic surgery cost? They said 29,000 Ghana cedis. And I don't have that kind of amount. You can see.
In the 30 questions posed to the responsible authorities, the lawyer cited some issues of grave concern which cropped up in the aftermath of the June 3 disaster.
1. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly, AMA, has a chief executive officer who has always been Mr. Ayedate, working with all previous and current political regimes. And AMA is fully operational under the Ministry of Local Government. And the minister at that time was Collins Dauda. What role, if any, did the two, Mr. Ayedate and Collins Dauda, play in the whole compensation and donated monies? The last question is it the case that those in government affairs, those that we queue at night at dawn to vote for them, is it the case that they have stolen their monies and compensation monies, the monies belonging to these poor people?
Over the last 3 years, victims of the 2015 June 3 disaster, which claimed over 100 lives and injured hundreds more, have accused government and other agencies of taking undue advantage of their plight to make money for themselves. Now, fuel prices have gone up by about 2%, and Ghanaian petroleum consumers have over the past 24 hours been hit with another fuel price increase. Now, prices at most oil marketing companies have shot up from previous market averages of 4.85 or 850 litres for both petrol and diesel to 4.950 litres for both products. A gallon of petrol sold for 21.825 Ghana cedis has now shot up to 22.275 Ghana cedis. Most of the major importers attribute the latest hikes to the poor performance of the cedi following the marginal increases in world market prices over the past 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers is calling for a national dialogue on the current pricing build-up. A statement issued and signed by its Executive Secretary, Duncan Amoah, underscored the need for possible adjustments to halt the frequent price escalations.
In other news tonight, state-owned transport company Intercity ISTC has entered into a 5-year private-public partnership with GN Logistics over the management of its parcel unit. The move forms part of initiatives to revamp the company's operations to deliver value.
Operational challenges, including inadequate number of buses, have over the years adversely affected the once vibrant Intercity State Transport Company, ISTC, which offered intercity transport services to all regional capitals and major towns across the country, as well as other West African countries. The private-public partnership with GN Logistics is part of efforts to enhance its operations and deliver quality service.
When you add the other indirect savings, we are likely to be getting about 300,000 cedis a month guaranteed from these arrangements. And also our parcels division will be getting, we hope, state-of-the-art equipment and logistics to deliver value to the customer.
Managing Director of ISTC, Nana Kumia, said the company would continue to engage the private sector in a bid to reclaim its position as the market leader in the transport sector.
Valuation department is also going to engage a private partner with proven ability who will bring in modern equipment. Also, we are establishing a new vehicle inspection, what we call the roadworthy. Also, with engagement with the private sector, who are going to build the facilities to be able to provide services to buses, to trucks.
Head of Business, GN Logistics, Benjamin Hyde, encouraged other organizations to partner with state-owned companies to deliver excellent services. ISTC intends to open 3 more bus terminals at Medina, Kaswa and Amasaman by close of the year.
Well, NEWS360 continues shortly after this with sports news with Thierry Nyan. Do stay.
We begin in India, where rescue efforts are being stepped up in the flood-hit Indian state of Kerala, where monsoon rains have eased for now. The Indian Meteorological Department has removed a red weather alert from all districts, though some areas are still underwater. India's Air Force and Navy helicopters are airlifting stranded people from rooftop and dropping food supplies to those they cannot yet reach. More than 350 people have died in the floods. Thousands remain marooned.
Now, the top lawyer in the White House is cooperating extensively with the Russia inquiry into election meddling. The New York Times reports Donald McGahn has spent 30 hours sharing detailed accounts of episodes at the heart of the probe. President Donald Trump later said he had authorized Mr. McGahn's cooperation with Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Mueller is investigating possible collusion between Russia and Mr. Trump's team in the 2016 U.S. elections. The president denies any collusion and has repeatedly called the Mueller probe a witch hunt. Russia also denies claims it interfered in the polls 2 years ago, which saw Donald Trump defeat Democratic rival Hillary Clinton.
You're on NEWS360, and up next, entertainment news. In this segment tonight, the Ghana Actors Guild has amended its constitution, reserving the position of the first vice president for women. Aside empowering women, the move is to position the Guild as a gender-sensitive body. Uzu Rai has more.
Do you accept that we promulgate it and have it as our Constitution of the Ghana Actors Guild? If you are in favor, say aye. Aye.
By popular acclamation, the Girls' Emergency Congress approved the amended constitution.
I would officially declare your constitution duly promulgated.
The new constitution, among other things, stipulates that only women can contest the position of the first vice president. The move is to empower and actively involve women in the running of the Guild.
How we put the structure of the Guild forward to be seen as a gender-sensitive group. And for the women who remain quiet, it is for you to today stand up for your rights.
The Guild will elect a new president and other executives at this next Congress scheduled for October 2018. A 5-member electoral committee including Frank Idam, Johnny Akpakli and Reverend Dante Mensah was constituted to come up with a clear roadmap for its next elections. Members vowed to put in place credible and transparent process for the next election.
Again, there should be time for vetting, and they must draw the comprehensive timetable for election materials and all. So we're going to put all these things together to get a credible, transparent and successful elections.
It's a responsibility which we must execute in the interest of the Guild. So I don't see it as a challenge at all. We are trying our very best so that we can put the Guild on a round footing, transparency, probity and accountability.
Members shared the expectations of the committee.
Those who are selected in the committee are astute gentlemen and ladies who I'm sure are going to do a great job to put things together for us to have a very good election.
I expect them to be balanced, so they shouldn't be biased. They should just allow anybody who wants to come in. But when the right time comes, we shall know who are really worth for it.
Veteran actor Kojo Datsun made it to the Guild's Emergency Congress. The 65-year-old actor regretted the widespread apathy among members, urging every single actor to join efforts at reviving the umbrella body of actors.
Even in my condition, I'll come to every meeting we have. Not as many people came, but those who came, our spirits were very high. And we've all agreed on what we're going to do to go forward.
It remains the wish of Kojo Datsun to see the Ghana Actors Guild revived.
A formidable Actors Guild, a serious Actors Guild, a guild that we can be proud of.
He admits the Guild will need dedicated men and ideas to build a great and formidable front.
Right now, as I'm talking, it's not working like I want to see it.
What do you want to see, Mr. Datsun? What are the things that you wish happens to the Guild?
I want to see all the actors get in. I've been involved with the Ghana Actors Guild for over 20 years, and because of my love for the industry, I will always make a point to be here.
Kojo Datsun, a proud pioneer of the Guild, asked members to join efforts at building a vibrant body.
You who is an actor, actress, make it a point to come. Come and let's make it work for our own selves. A word to the wise is a takrali.
say that's the best advice from the West.
He's definitely an actor.
Great to see him again. That's it for this edition of News 360. My name is Hisamoni.
And I am Solis Rose Quarter. Many thanks for joining us. We've been live on DSTV channel 279. Have a good evening.